And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
It's very simple to see it, yes, and still, baby. That's right. It is the Weighing In podcast, and we are still coming at you with the best damn analysis of MMA and combat sports there is. My man Josh Thompson sitting there looking cool, got his beanie on inside a house. What is wrong with you? You don't wear a beanie inside a house.
At 4 a.m., I'm not doing my hair, buddy.
Has nothing to do with the cold.
I'm not doing my hair at 4 a.m. As soon as we get done with this around 7:30, I got shit to do, so I got no time for that action. No, it's it's actually it kind of cooled down this last night, which is not too bad. I like to sleep with my windows open, so pop those windows open. Felt a little chill. Got up. I was like, you know what? Office is feeling a little cold, so I put on the
beanie time.
I wasn't gonna do my hair anyway, so. Not for you, not for Podcast Dave. Oh, which, by the way, Podcast Dave had his first day of Train Alta. Okay, we need a full rundown. Tell us about it, Dave.
Come on, Dave.
It was just like a boxing class.
Okay.
I've done them before, so it's just very similar to what I've done in the past.
Okay, so let me ask you one question. Very simple. Did they teach you that you hit with this part of your hand, not this part?
Are you saying that I was hitting with that part?
Oh.
No. It was pretty good. It was a good good coach. It's a good little facility they got down there.
And where's it at?
It's I think it's called Black Sheep. Muay Thai or something like that.
Yeah, Black Sheep Muay Thai. It's in where do you live? You live in
Round Rock.
Round Rock. I wasn't say Rockland. Yeah, Round Rock,
Austin,
right?
So it's like 30 minutes away.
Got it. That's nice, man. So it was good. So yesterday was just boxing and every day changes, right? So today will be like probably jiu-jitsu. Tomorrow will be something else. Yeah, I gotcha. Yep. Good for you, buddy. So it was good. Did you get punched in the face at all?
No. Day one, dude. You kidding?
Come on, yeah.
Damn.
Josh, come on. What is wrong with you?
Well,
even if you were coaching, you wouldn't have had. Yeah, you would have. Never mind.
Well, I would have. I would have had him. Especially Dave. I would have had him.
That's exactly that's my point. You wouldn't have had
Dave,
anyone else get hit.
Hands down by your side. Try to move your head. Use your head work. Just. Hey, Dave, I've noticed Dave's lost his voice a little bit. I felt like he was laying down on the ground and someone was just fucking standing over him, using his head work and just teabagging him. He had to move his face side to side. Just can you imagine? That's great head work. Guy just bobbing up and down doing squats as Dave's trying to move his head left to right, trying to avoid getting teabagged. Oh, that's great.
No, I'm wondering if I got some.
I thought it was funny, guys. I thought it was funny.
It's funny when I was saying no, go. Hey, I just want to tell you, man, I'm proud of you, bud. I'm proud of you.
It's day one. Calm down.
I don't care. It takes a step forward, and that's what he did. Good job.
Let's not toot his horn too
Don't
much.
get all fucking. Look at you getting all fucking negative Nancy troll like. Don't be like what we know Dave has been like this whole time.
Yeah.
I did get praise on my form, so.
Ooh, there you go.
My jab cross form, so just
so you're
I
thought you were just
so what you're saying is right now you're the head of the class.
I mean, if you
brown nose,
far,
brown noser,
I'll take
brown noser,
I'll take
fastest.
it.
What do you mean? I just know Dave. I know Dave when he fights is the fastest windmill wins, right? Just head down, just swimming, just trying to throw the fastest windmill. That's really what it comes down to. I told him, I said, hey, you better get with the program, buddy, because when Lincoln turns, I don't know, 6, he'll probably be taller and bigger than you, and he'll probably just smash you. That's really what it comes down to. You better get on it, buddy. So, it was kind of funny. I noticed that because Dave sent us the picture right in the group text, and he was all lathered up again, with his baby oil, his WWE baby oil that he bought online.
WWE
on the website, he's all lathered up. He's got.
Is that a specific bottle?
And I think, and then they kind of sprayed him. I think with the Mister. We call it the Mister. What do they call? What do they call those people? The fluffer.
Yeah.
Like
he's got a fluffer.
He's got a fluffer for his photo shots.
Nothing wrong with having a fluffer. Not really good to be the fluffer, but to have a fluffer, there you go.
Yeah, if this doesn't work out, Dave can be the fluffer. I'm excited though. I'm excited to see how much more he does. I want to see him on the grappling day where we're just getting smashed by like a 12-year-old. It's gonna be great. They're gonna bring in some of their students. Students are just gonna wall up on them.
Adults only.
Yeah, but I mean, like, maybe there's. Texas has big kids. You never know.
Dave, don't worry about it. Everyone gets smashed in the beginning. Josh got smashed. I got smashed.
I never got smashed.
You got smashed, dude. No. Shut up. You know you did. Here, let me give you a little BJ Penn talk. I'm so good. He can't do anything to me.
Yeah. That was later on though.
No, that's called being smashed.
That was smashed. That was. He was realistically. It was him and Frank Shamrock and Bob Cook. I think those were the only 3 guys that had ever given me a go in the early of my career.
There's always
those 3 guys. I'd gone with a bunch of other guys that were all pretty equal. But those 3 guys fucked me up, man. Yeah. Bob Cook especially, because I'd came to AKA and was grappling with Charles Taylor, who was there at the time, Ryan Bowe, and on the ground I was better than both of them. And was all over them, subbing them left and right. And this is old days. Anyways, and you could just see Frank Shamrock sitting up on the ring apron with Bob Cook. You know how like the big bull sends the other big bull, like his sidekick down to just fuck somebody up, and that's exactly what Frank did with Crazy Bob. He's like, hey Bob, go down there, handle that kid. Bob almost ripped my fucking ankles off with heel hooks, fucking Achilles locks. He just tore me up. I was like, oh, shit. Anyways, but hey, all of that stuff aside, go to WingingItPodcast.com, pick up some of our merch. Got a bunch of stuff going on right now. Look at Big John supporting the hashtag and still shirt that's available.
Yes, sir.
And we have our OG logo as well as our new logo. We've got the Beast Mode shirts. We've got the 5-round main event shirt that is up, and hindsight is 50-50. Make sure you guys check it out at weighinginpodcast.com. All right, let's get right into this, man. One Championship has a card this weekend. What night is that on? That is on the 22nd, so that'll be Friday.
Friday.
That's Friday, yeah. But they are a day behind Singapore. I think they're a day behind.
No, day ahead.
Day ahead. Anyways. So that the main event should be a good main event. In terms of the rest of the card, we're just going to talk really about the main event because this guy he's got some claim to say that he's probably a top 5 middleweight, and we already know that he is a light heavyweight. He is a stud, is De Ridder, and De Ridder's good on the ground. He's got good wrestling. He's strong as hell.
Very good on the ground.
But Vitaly Bigdash is tough as well. Good fight. He's a great fighter.
Good stand-up.
Yeah, he's got good stand-up, but he's also fought
good wrestling.
Their former champion, what's his name? Ong
Song Long.
Yeah, he's tough as well. He's coming off of some losses now, but back when they fought what, 3 or 4 times, I believe.
3 times.
3 times. Yeah. And so, but they had some good goes as well. But this De Ridder and Bigdash are going to be a good fight. This fight's going to be shaped up to well. I think De Ridder obviously just going to have to keep doing what he normally does. Pushes some pace, gets on top, gets the grind, and also on top of the grind, always working for that submission when they're giving up position. He's forcing people, John, to go in the direction that he can chase the submission and get to the back and control the body, control the position. He is a fantastic fighter. But not only that, he's a 2-division champion right now. I believe he's middleweight and light heavyweight.
Yep, he is.
He is a stud. I mean, he's somebody, I don't know. Look, everyone always talks about the same thing with the Bellator guys. Man, I'd really like to see him go to somewhere else and fight, so-and-so.
Yeah.
I think we saw, there was something I sent to you, Dave, in the news clip. It was the pay for Ngannou and Anthony Pettis in their last fight. Anthony Pettis made $750,000 and Ngannou made $600,000. That, like, those type of things when people
Ngannou was fighting for a championship.
Heavyweight championship, by the way.
A heavyweight championship, which normally brings more money. And Anthony Pettis was fighting for what?
For fun in the tournament.
There you go.
It just, so when I want to avoid people that, I want to avoid saying that, because I would love to see him fight other people like in the UFC as well as in Bellator and in the PFL. But I also don't want to take these fighters away from their cash cows and allowing them and letting people know that they go to these other promotions Not so much because they can't hack it anymore in the UFC, or like maybe they just don't want to be there anymore. Like you can say Chris Cyborg, she just didn't want to be treated the way she was being treated anymore. She didn't want to be belittled. She didn't want to be all those things. She left. She's making the same, if not more, money in Bellator. And then the same thing with De Ritter.
Stop. She's making the same money she was making in the UFC?
The same, or if not more.
Yeah, go ahead and say not. Definitely more.
Well, okay, I understand what she's making on her flat purse, but on her pay-per-view numbers, no?
Not close. Not
Are
close.
you sure, John?
I'm positive.
Okay.
I never ever sit here and give a number, just like you don't, because that's not right.
That's not right, yeah.
But it's not close.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, you should know. You're with, aren't you with Paradigm? And that's Audie, right? And Audie is the one that manages her. I
have no recollection of what you were talking about.
Hey, there you go. Oh, that makes sense. Well played, John, by the way. Well played.
Thank you very much.
Smart man. All right, but how do you see this fight going?
I'll tell you what. Vitaly Blaydes is got good wrestling, very good stand-up, got power in his hands. De Ritter does not seem to care about people's power in their hands. He just pushes forward, looks for the chance to get the takedown. He's going to have a hard time getting the takedown against Vitaly, though. Vitaly's got very good defensive wrestling. He's gone against very good wrestlers in the past and done very well. But if De Ritter does get the fight to the ground, he's on a different level when it comes to his ground game than Blaydes is. So this is one of those, either guy can win, no doubt about it, and that's why it's a title fight, and it's a really good title fight. It's one with two guys that are really, one's outstanding in a specific area. De Ritter is outstanding on the ground. He is dominating on the ground. And so Blaydes is better in the stand-up. De Ritter's okay in the stand-up, but one has a superior area to go to where the fight's going to take a different turn if it hits there. I just look at no one has beaten De Ritter. He has gone through everyone, and he's fought some tough opponents. And winning the lightweight, the middleweight, and then the lightweight championship, he did it from the same guy. It's kind of weird.
Heavyweight, the light heavyweight.
Yeah,
but lightweight, that's a big cut.
Yeah, that's a big cut. But there's a difference, so not quite the same. But right now, I would tell you that De Ritter is exactly what you're saying. He's one of the top, guys in the world, and middleweight division is where I would put him, his frame wise. Yeah. And I think I would love to see him against, some of the other people out there. I just don't know. Talking to some people that work out with him and stuff, and we know those people, they talk about how good he is. Yeah. And so, this is an interesting fight as far as can Blaydes keep it on the feet? Can he piece him up while he's on the feet? How long can he keep the fight on the feet before it does hit the ground? Those are all the questions that are going to tell you who's going to win this fight. Yeah,
like you said, but De Ritter, I'm not sure, his size, he's not a big guy, but he's crafty in terms of how he gets the takedowns, how he takes the back, how he gets the fight to the ground. All of those things. He's dealt with big guys before, so I think he'll be able to handle this just fine. He uses his speed and his ability to get in underneath on the hips and on the takedowns or getting his way to the back. He does a great job of doing all those things. I would like to say that he is definitely an 85-pounder. He's not a 205-pounder in terms of size, but he's had success. Yeah, he should be at 85. But he's a fantastic fighter, and it should be, I think, like you said, it should shape up to be a pretty good fight. So, all right, guys. Well, that's gonna cover we covered the main event for the ONE FC that's happening this Friday night. Remember, just be prepared. There is a time change, so make sure you guys check that out on your local listings. All right, let's go ahead and move right into Bellator, which is also on Friday night out of Seattle, where it's actually in Tacoma, Washington, but we call it Seattle. And in terms of this card was shaped up to be really, really good, which is why I was wondering. Yeah, no, it is. It's a great card. I think it's a great card. But then what I like, though, to be honest, John, and nothing, I'm not going to take anything away from the main event because we'll talk about the main event in a second, is that we're bringing in somebody. Yeah, we're bringing in somebody Tofik, who is stepping in on not really short notice, a little bit of short notice, to fight Sydney Outlaw about 3 to 4 weeks.
Yep.
Which but I'm sure he's been training. I know he understands what he's got in front of him. I was actually on the phone yesterday with Scott Coker because I wanted to know, is this guarantee Tofik a title shot? Because Sydney Outlaw was supposed to fight for the title against Patricky. Now Tofik's got to win over Patricky Pitbull in Rising in the finals of their Grand Prix finals. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, was, if you guys can look it up, you guys can find that fight online. That fight was awesome. What a freaking fight. They threw down, they stood in the center, exchange. Both got, I don't know, I wouldn't say that Pitbull got dropped. He got kind of clubbed over the side of the head with the forearm and kind of lost his balance. But there was some big shots thrown in that fight. He might have got, I don't know if he got sat to his butt or if he just lost his balance again, but in the third round, it kind of was on the backside. He kept throwing those body kicks in that fight.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if they ever do fight again, that he learned from that lesson. And I'm also not sure if he broke his hand in that fight, because I noticed he started switching stances quite a bit in that fight if he broke his right hand. But man, they were slinging leather. It had me kind of remembering back to some of the old glory days of Pride, and also in the lightweight tournament for Pride, which was in Bushido. That was, it had that throwback a little bit to that feeling of these guys were slinging leather. It was a full mixture of everything, of wrestling, of jiu-jitsu. There was a lot going on, and it was just a great fight, falling out of the ring. There was history of that. All the small little minions on the outside, the Japanese small little minions trying to catch people or trying to get their arms to unhook the ropes. All of those things were all happening. It kind of just gave me flashbacks to the old Pride days. But that was a great fight. But now Tofik stepping in against Sydney Outlaw. And I asked Coker, does this guarantee him a shot? And he goes, no, not necessarily. He's like, if he goes out there and doesn't look good, he's like, I can't give him a title shot off that. Now, if he goes out there and starches him, and there's a reason to give him one out. There's a buzz. He's like, look, let's go. He looked phenomenal in his fight against Patricky, but will he look the same against someone who's going to wrestle a lot more? Because he started slowing down in that fight a little bit against Patricky towards the end, but he brought the heat. And he let it all hang out in the end, too. So he's a dog. He's somebody. Tofik is a dog. And I remember, John, people would hit me up because I thought for sure that Pitbull was going to walk through that tournament, which he did all the way up until
all the fights were first round. Yeah,
up until the main event. Fantastic. I mean, I hope that this will end up bringing the best out of Pitbull if Tofik wins. But I mean, Outlaw can't be overlooked. Yep.
Boom. I got to give it to Sydney Outlaw. Think about this. If you're Sydney Outlaw, you have a championship fight sitting there waiting for you. The champion has to pull out due to an injury. What do we see most of the time? The opponent backs out too. Yeah. Why am I gonna fight? I'll wait. And it's not only is he getting a fight, dude, he's getting a fight against a guy who beat the champion, who is a stud in the stand-up. His stand-up is clean. You got to really enjoy watching Tofik as far as his technique. He's quick. He's crisp. He throws a ton of combinations. And how many times are you talking all the time about, don't throw the 1 and 2, throw the 3 and 4. There's a guy constantly throwing the 3, 4, 5. Based upon those are the ones that end up landing and making things go his way. He's got very good defensive wrestling. I don't know on the ground if he's as good as Sydney Outlaw. I think Sydney Outlaw on the ground, submission wise, is a better fighter. Mm-hmm. Question is he going to be able to not only get the fight to the ground, keep him on the ground, because Tofik does a very good job of getting back to his feet. But this is a tough fight for both guys. Tofik coming in first time in the promotion, a lot of pressure. We'll see how he deals with that. Obviously, we've seen him in championship fights like the one against Pitbull, and pressure is definitely not a problem. But when you switch promotions, it's a little bit different. It's a little odd. It's kind of feels different feeling and stuff, and sometimes that gets to guys. Maybe it won't get to him at all. But this dude is a stud, and he's fun to watch. Sydney Outlaw is a gamer, man. He's going to come at him. I look at the Sydney Outlaw. He kind of did the same thing. He took that last second fight against Mike Chandler in Japan. Didn't didn't work out for him. But this is one of those ones. Outlaw needs to wrestle. Tofik needs to stand, keep it on the feet. Whoever gets that element and does it the most is probably going to walk away with the win.
That should be a great fight, though. And now let's go ahead and we'll talk about the main event. I just wanted to talk about that because there was a lot at stake for Sidney Outlaw. The fact that he did step up. And then on top of that, you got Tofik coming in on his debut in Bellator against basically the number one contender who was supposed to fight Patricky. There's a lot of pressure on both sides to perform on that night. Now, one is a very good wrestler and a very good grappler and submission guy in Sidney Outlaw. And Tofik is a good anti-wrestler / wrestler. He's got some good wrestling as well. But he also is very anti-wrestling because he likes to stand and bang and trade. And he's very fast and, like you said, throws punches and bunches, combinations. He's going to have to use that against Sidney Outlaw to keep him on his back foot, make him take those shots that he does not want to take, and be forced to try and stand with him, which is going to be a tough fight for him. Both fighters are very, very dynamic in what they do, so it's going to be who can implement their game plan best.
That's it.
So it should be a good fight.
Douglas Lima against the ass-kicking machine. I love his name, Jason Jackson. This is one. Excuse me. This is one of those fights where you look and you go, I don't see it hitting the ground. I don't see Jason going for a takedown. I don't see Douglas Lima actually going for a takedown. Maybe just to change it up at a certain point, they'll clinch up and everything. They both have outstanding stand-up, but they do it in different ways. And it's really the difference maker that I see in this is how often and how soon can Douglas Lima start attacking that lead leg, because Jason Jackson does tend to leave his leg out with a wide base, and it's out front there, and it can get eaten up. Douglas Lima's kick to that lead leg, they're devastating, huge power. He's done a lot of damage to a lot of fighters with it. So Jason's got to be very careful in either trying to check to make it to where it hurts both of them. Because when you check, it's not like, oh, that doesn't hurt me then. It hurts both of you, but it'll slow down how many times Lima goes back to it. Or is he just going to start to eat him? And if he starts to eat him, that's not a good thing in a 5-round fight.
See, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit on this. I agree with you on the stand-up and the calf kick, but I think Jason Jackson's going to wrestle.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he's gonna use his stand up, but I think at some point in that first, maybe even the second round, he's gonna really try to look for a takedown. This will be a 5-round fight because it is the main event.
Difficult takedown for him to get.
You think so?
Yeah. Usually only really good wrestlers end up being able to take Douglas Lima down. Now, I know like Gegard Mousasi got him down in the first round of their fight and was able to keep him down. After that, wasn't able to get him back down. Yeah. It's guys like Amazov, a Logan Storley type, guys with that type of wrestling ability can get Douglas Lima down. Brian Stan used to work out with Douglas Lima. That was one of his training partners, and he used to say he was so frustrating in trying to get him to the ground. So difficult. Now Brian wasn't the greatest wrestler in the world, but he's a very good athlete, and he'll tell you, man, dude, he's so strong. So it's usually the guys with great technique that can get it there. I know, you can look at Andrei Koreshkov was able to do it in their first fight, but Douglas Lima had a knee injury, and he wasn't able to come back and do that as often when he faced him in the second and third time. So it's a real question. I'm not sure that Jason has the wrestling to get Douglas Lima down.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to go into the mix of just like shooting the double legs against the fence. I think he's going to try to get him off transition. So very much how like, remember when he fought Naaman Gracie? Yeah. When he got into the mix, they got to the body clinch and he was able to like kind of throw him to his back. He kind of like lateral dropped him, or he tripped him or something along those lines. You can see him getting a body lock and lifting Lima up because he is the taller fighter. Getting the lift on the body lock and taking him down that way. I see those kind of takedowns. I don't see where he hangs out on the double leg against the fence or the single leg against the fence. I think he'd rather stand and trade with Lima in those positions. But I think he will threaten the takedown quite a bit. I think he will in a 5-round fight. It has been proven the way to beat Douglas Lima is to get him taken down. You take him down, he sometimes will he'll just accept the position from his back.
True.
And that's that. He can't afford to do that. I don't care if Jason Jackson's a stand-up guy. Jason Jackson has proven he can be on the ground with guys like Naaman Gracie. He can be on the ground with other guys that are fantastic wrestlers or fighters. He's not afraid of their jiu-jitsu. He understands what to do from the top position. He understands how to avoid submissions. Douglas Lima is mainly a stand-up guy. He's got good submissions. He's great off of his back as well. But like I said, he will tend to accept the position, and then the rounds just tick away. And as Jason gets one takedown, maybe two, and then it starts to wilt on him, and then he stops trying to get up less and less and less, and the rounds and the minutes just go away. So that's the way I look at this fight. Is Jason Jackson will stand. I think he will stand quite a bit, but I think if he gets for the takedown, he will look for the body lock. Yeah. Now, he won't just go out there and hang on the legs, because we've seen lots of guys, even Korshkov. There was moments in the second fight where he spent so much energy in that second fight trying to get those takedowns.
Yeah.
That he just gassed himself out, got tired, and it just wasn't. That was the third fight. Sorry, that was the third fight. You are correct. Yeah. But yeah, he gassed himself out and got tired, and that was just from him hanging on the legs, carrying Lima's weight. So I think he'll avoid that. Jason Jackson will, and he'll look to punch his way into those clinches, body locks, lifts, foot sweeps, all of those type of things. Lateral drops, all of those things. And Lima's just he's on a 4-fight losing streak.
Yeah,
pull that up, Dave?
At least 3 fight.
I think it's 3 or it's 3. Yeah, so he beat Rory McDonald, and then that was for the Grand Prix finals, the welterweight Grand Prix finals, and he hasn't won since. He decided to go up and fight Mousasi at 185, which all he had to do was have more output. He probably could have got that win. He had some success with the calf kick. I mean, Gegard had to be carried out of the cage. And then you've got Amosov, who just out-wrestled him.
Yep.
Out-wrestled him. And Amosov right now, I think he's in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
I think he's down there because he's training with a friend of mine, Cody Steele. And Cody's a dog on the ground. Good jiu-jitsu guy. Great jiu-jitsu guy. And I was chatting with him about how good he was on the ground. He's like, oh, he's good. He's got a couple good submissions that he likes to hit from everywhere. One being the Darce.
Yeah.
Yep. The other one being the Anaconda that he likes to hit from everywhere.
But
he's also got different ways of attacking.
You can take a look at that last loss against Michael Page. Yeah.
Yeah.
He got the loss, but a lot of people would say he didn't lose that fight. So
yeah, a lot of people were saying he didn't lose. I mean, the whole arena, they were upset, and we were in London at the time.
Exactly.
They were booing Michael Venom Page. So yeah, look, Douglas Lima, we just got to get him back on track. I think once he gets a win, I think he's got to get motivated again. That's what happens when you make a ton of money. It's hard to stay motivated.
Yeah.
People don't realize how difficult it is to wake up every day going, man, I've got, a couple $1 million in the bank. It's not the easiest thing. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go get punched in the face today.
That's rough. It's rough to have a couple $1 million in the bank. Yeah, God forbid.
You would know. John would know. Just sold his lake house.
Let's be honest. No, that's not happening.
Cash cow. You can't have a couple $1 million in the bank, man. Miss McCarthy won't, and her Amazon account is full.
Hello, you just put that entire thing together. Money in the bank, Miss McCarthy. Nope, not going to happen.
All peaks at the Amazon.
Yeah,
Boom, Amazon. That's so funny. All right, let's go ahead and look at the next fight on this card.
Usman Nurmagomedov against the Lion Chris Gonzalez. I love that. That's a good matchup. Look,
it's a dangerous matchup. It's a dangerous matchup for Usman.
I was going to say mass-up.
It's a dangerous matchup for Usman.
Well, Usman is a dynamic striker. And that's weird because people look and go, striker. Nurmagomedov, look, he's a striker. He's got good wrestling. He cannot out-wrestle Chris Gonzalez. He's not going to out-wrestle him. Now, he can keep himself from being taken down, but he's a guy that wants to be on his feet. Go ahead.
Can he? Can he keep himself from being taken down?
Oh, I'm not sure he can. Especially, like, Chris comes from a Greco-Roman background. He was on the national team with Greco-Roman. And when you look at Greco-Roman has transferred over into MMA, in my opinion, better than freestyle overall. It's the techniques of Greco-Roman. It's the body locks because of the cage, being able to off-balance people and not having to go down on their legs and take shots and things like that. I do think Chris Gonzalez, if he gets into a clinch area, he'll get Usman to the ground. The question is, does Usman get back to his feet? And how much damage does he take before he gets back to his feet if he does? In the stand-up, Chris has come a long ways. He's not in the same realm as Usman when it comes to the stand-up game, and he needs to be very careful and very, very tactical. Don't extend out. Don't do anything crazy. Be very tight with your defense and look for your openings to come in. Use your hands to get into that clinch and then work your game from there. But this is a great matchup for both guys. Look, Usman's 14-0. Chris has got the one loss. And that was one that I think, he thought in that fight, that was against Yamauchi. He thought, oh, I can be on the ground with this guy and stuff. And there's different levels to everything. And your wrestling level is one of those things that most people cannot attain. Well, certain people's submission games are the same thing. And you think you can go with them, and then all of a sudden you're getting caught. But, it's this is a great matchup overall. The entire, card in the main card it's dynamite. Fun. I
mean, you've got Usman, good. He's got good wrestling. I'm not sure it's at the level like when I talked about Islam, Makhachev, and I talk about Khabib's wrestling. Their wrestling is another level.
Yes.
Usman and his brother Umar, their wrestling is good, but it's not on those two guys' levels. Now their stand up, the way they throw their Taekwondo style stand up, that karate Taekwondo style stand up, the question mark kicks, side kicks, spinning back kicks, spinning back fists, all of those things they do quite a bit, and they're explosive at it. And they're hard. They're definitely hard to get. They're hard to take down. It's even hard to get in on their legs because of their lateral movement so fast, so quick. After they throw, they move real well, or they move and they throw while they're moving. So very explosive on the feet. But Chris Gonzalez, I could see this, John, and I'm definitely not saying Chris Gonzalez is going to win this fight. What I'm saying is, I can see a fight where he potentially steals 2 rounds of this fight.
Sure.
With a takedown, control. Usman's proven that he has some difficulties getting back to his feet. And if he does get taken down, that he will sometimes expose his back and rely on his athleticism and his ability to wrestle to get out of those positions. I'm not sure how good Chris Gonzalez's jiu-jitsu is. I know his wrestling's good. His striking's come a long way. It's definitely not on the level of Usman's striking. No. So if he decides to keep this on the feet, it's going to be a long night for him. If he decides to wrestle, it could be potentially a good night for him, but he's got to make sure that he's not exerting the energy on the takedowns and wasting energy that is leading to nowhere.
Yes.
And that's easy to get caught up in because there's so much pressure on you to get the takedown, understanding how good Usman is on the feet. So he's got to be cautious about letting Usman hang on him against the fence and forcing those takedowns against the fence. He's got to bring him out to the open mat, try and get the takedowns out there in the open mat so Usman can avoid putting his back to the fence and getting back up to his feet. John, you are correct, though. This whole main card is pretty damn good. And I thought this was a little bit too soon for Usman, but Khabib, Javier, Ali, all of them, they believe that he's ready for it, which, I mean, I haven't been in the AK wrestling room or in the training room probably in a couple months. So they've got to be seeing something out of him that leads them to believe that he's ready for Chris Gonzalez and his wrestling.
It's one of those, you got to make a step sometime, and it's not like they're putting him against someone with a ton of experience over him and everything like that. Experience-wise, they're close. I mean, Usman's got more fights, but what they've done, you got to take a look at the experience of Chris Gonzalez and the national team and all those things. Mm-hmm. It's close, and so I think it's a great matchup. Lorenz Larkin against Magomed Berkamov. Berkamov is good. Yeah. This guy is really good.
Yep. He showed me a lot in his first fight against Jalil Willis, his first fight in Bellator. Yeah. He showed me a lot in that fight.
Very relaxed.
Had to deal with some adversity. He got dropped in the first 30 seconds or whatever it was. He dealt with the adversity, fought his way from the bottom. Jalil made a mistake, tried to jump to the back against the fence. But in that transition, Berkimov stayed calm, composed, switched the position, got to the top, and it was shortly after that, right to that head and arm. I don't know what you call that submission, but it was more of like a side choke, but it wasn't a side choke because it was a front guillotine off to the side. I don't remember.
I think they called it a guillotine.
Yeah, it's like an arm in guillotine position, but it was more like off to the side.
Well, he tried. If you remember, he tried an Ezekiel from the bottom there, and you could see that it was causing problems for Jalil at a certain point. So it's like he'll pull off all of these different types of submissions. This guy's got power in his hands. He's got good submission game. He's good everywhere. And so this is someone, man, that you look at and you go, look out. He is tough. Now, Lorenz is a guy, you know he's going to be a stand-up. He does not take people to the ground. He does not even work that. His whole thing is to stay from being on the ground. Is he going to be able to do that? He's got speed. He is. I'm really glad to see him back at welterweight.
Yeah.
You know, he's super fast. His stand-up is dynamic. You know, he's got a ground game. He just doesn't use it.
Yeah. He does have a ground game. He's phenomenal. He's a good anti-wrestler.
Yep.
Still fast as hell. I think, where did he fight? Did he fight London or Paris? Was he London?
I'm not sure.
Paris. Was he Paris?
I was thinking Paris.
Yeah, it was Paris. Wait, no. London was after Paris.
Yes.
It was
in Paris.
6.
He fought on the Bader Congo card.
Bader Congo. Okay. Yeah, Bader Congo was Paris. So then
it was.
Anyways, we're not going to get into those little tiny details. But Lorenz is definitely explosive on the feet. He's used to fighting wrestlers, and so, but then Berkimov will stand.
Yes.
So he will stand with him. I don't advise him to do it very long because we've seen other guys in the past who were wrestlers that thought they could stand with him a little bit after they slowed him down, and that's not what you want to do.
I think a lot of this you're looking at, if you're going to talk about a fight that could closely match this one, you're looking at when Lorenz Larkin fought Koreshkov.
Yep.
Very similar in styles, Koreshkov and Berkimov. So we're going to see. Koreshkov had Lorenz in trouble in that fight. Lorenz had Koreshkov in trouble in that fight. So this is one that it could go either way.
Yeah. I think I just look at what Berkimov has done, like when he did against Jalil Willis. He got dropped in that fight and had to deal with that adversity. Lorenz is faster than Jalil.
Oh,
He doesn't have the same pop and the power, but he will hit you with 3 or 4 punches before you even realize where the hell he's at. You're like, hey, where'd he go? Which one of y'all motherfuckers kicked me?
Which one? Which one you kicked?
Yeah, exactly. And so that's Lorenz Larkin. Even as he gets older, he's still got speed, and we saw that in his last fight. I'm looking for him to stick and move, do what he normally does, because he's had to fight good wrestlers before. But he's also got to not get complacent with the fact that Berkimov will stand with him and will trade a little bit with him.
Oh, he'll trade with him.
Just to set up his wrestling. So this will be a good fight. This is a big step up in competition as well for Berkimov.
Yeah.
In terms of like name value. All right, next, Davion Franklin versus Marcelo Golm.
Davion the Tank Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the dude's strong. He's a mind. Go ahead.
I think he's just going to impose his will and walk
too.
right through Marcelo Golm.
I think when Marcelo gets hit by Davion, his eyes are gonna open up like holy shit, because Davion's got that. He's got that Black Beast, Derek Lewis type power. When he touches people, you see them go, oh shit, and things start falling up. The wheels start falling off the cart. But he does need to keep himself collected, and he does need to keep himself off of, the ground and off of his back. He's a very good wrestler, super strong, big power, fast for a heavyweight. He just needs to stay collected, keep himself under control. Don't overextend. Don't try to land the giant shot right off the beginning. Just start touching him. He will have problems just with you touching him, and that will open up that shot that puts things away. But you got to fight smart.
Yeah. Click on Marcelo Golem. Who was his last fight? Sam, was it something? Sammy something?
It's been a while.
Billy Swanson. There you go,
Big
Billy
Sexy.
Big Sexy. Well, Big Sexy is not the
Best athlete. Yes.
that Franklin is.
No.
And Big Sexy, Billy Swanson, was able to
him some
hit
problems.
Golem.
That's right.
Golem doesn't move his head offline a whole lot. And Golem ended up getting the finish, but Billy also took the fight on, 5 or 6 days notice?
Yep.
It's very short.
Yep.
And so when I'm watching Marcelo Golem fight, he's talented. He's good. He's good all the way around. He will stand. He will trade. He will get the takedowns. He will do all of those things. Davion Franklin, like you said, needs to just make sure he doesn't expose himself by overcommitting or throwing shots and leaving himself out of position. If he can do that, I think because Marcelo Golem is a little bit slower, he's also not as big as Davion Franklin. He's not a big guy. He's decent size, but he's not a big heavyweight.
No.
So when I'm watching these two side by side on split screens and comparing their athleticism, Davion Franklin. When I'm comparing their power, Davion Franklin. When I'm comparing their speed and their movement, Davion Franklin.
Yeah.
The strength,
and
Davion Franklin.
If you go to the, his 3 losses are all against guys that are big guys, big, strong. You got Tim Johnson, you got Bilar, who you used to train at AKA, and then you've got Sergey Pavlovich, who's just super long, super big. So Davion Franklin, big. He's going to come in at 264 pounds.
Yeah,
and super strong
and fast. And that's the thing.
He is
Marcelo
fast.
Golem, even though Marcelo Golem is a smaller fighter, he's not a fast fighter.
No.
And so
Davion will be the faster fighter.
Yeah, he will have to make sure that I look for him to try and make those transitions off of Davion's swing and a miss. Look for him to lower that level, get it on those legs, try and get, because he is not pressing. He's not going to be able to bully him around and try and push Davion Franklin back. Davion Franklin is going to be pushing him back, making him fight from his back foot.
If Davion Franklin is going backwards in this fight,
no,
something happened. Something's wrong.
It's all bad, John.
And so it's just not going to happen.
That should be a good fight. What other fights on this card?
Well, if you're looking at the opening fight on this is it's not. It's it's the prelim fight. I think the Davion Franklin.
The main event of the prelim fight.
Yeah, is Romero Cotton against Dalton Rasta. This was a great matchup.
They've been trying.
Both
this is a Khabib and Tony Ferguson fight.
I think this
John.
is the 4th time, isn't it?
This is the 4th time. Yep.
This is one of those ones you look and you go, look at Romero Cotton, incredibly strong, super strong, very athletic. He likes to heat him up. He's going to have a hard time just eating Dalton Ross up. I do think Dalton is the faster fighter. I know you probably don't because you work with Romero, but I do think Dalton is the faster fighter. They match up very well. The difference, Dalton's stand-up is better than Romero Cotton's. I think Romero Cotton's wrestling might be better than Dalton Rasta. When it comes to submission-wise, I think Dalton Rasta is the better submission guy. But they match up so well. This is one of those ones. It's about attitude. Which guy's willing to walk through more fire? Which guy's willing to put up with more, damage, more pain, and just continue to put it on his opponent? That's the guy that's going to walk away with the win.
How good is Don Rasta off of his back?
How good is Romero Cotton off his back?
He ain't going to be there.
Okay, there you go.
He ain't going to be there.
All right.
So when it comes to the wrestling pedigree in this situation, Romero Cotton's going to wrestle the shit out of him. Now, will he make himself tired doing that? I don't know. I haven't seen Romero this fight. I had a lot of stuff going on. Plus, I closed my gyms. So that being said, I haven't seen him a whole lot this camp. I saw him early in the camp before the gyms were closed because he knew he was kind of fighting this fight. Like you said, this fight's supposed to have happened 4 times, and both have gotten injured. Rasta, I think, got injured the first time, and then Romero got injured the next 2 times. So this is the 4th time they've made this fight. In terms of speed, I would say, maybe in the relaxation speed, Dalton Ross is probably the faster fighter. But the more explosive fighter, someone who is like one of those sleepy guys, he's just real calm, and then explodes, I'm going to give it to Romero.
Okay.
He's the guy that's going to throw the one big punch or the one big kick and the one punch right after that. They go for the takedown. He's that guy. It's going to catch Dalton Rossa off guard how explosive Romero is at first. Now, in the takedowns, I think that right away that Romero's going to be able to get a takedown. Will he be able to hold him down? I don't know. I'm not sure. It's going to be tough. If he pushes him to the fence and does work, Romero Cotton hits like a fucking tank. That guy
No
is
doubt about
so
it.
damn strong.
Yeah,
so
he's
strong.
super strong.
And it's like when people talk about Yoel Romero and they talk about like, oh, I kicked him and it was like kicking a fucking steel pole. Very similar type conversations are had about Romero Cotton. You hit him and like he doesn't move. He hits you and like it knocks you off balance. You kick him and it hurts you. He kicks you and it hurts you. There's all those. They have very similar, almost like very similar conversations about Yoel Romero and Romero Cotton when it comes to like their ability to take shots, not really get hurt, and it hurting you more than them when you deliver the shots. So when I look at this fight, Dalton Ross is the more well-rounded fighter. But Dalton Ross is going to have to dig deep because how is he when he is the nail and not the hammer? All we've seen is him be the hammer. How is he? How will he handle it being the nail? That's what I want to know. Is he the same fighter?
We've seen him have problems in fights. I've seen Romero Cotton have problems in fights, and normally it was fatigue.
Yeah,
it wasn't that they were getting beat up on. They both got tired. They got tired. You know, Romero Cotton in his first fight in Bellator. You talk about a guy who was exhausted and gutted his way through that fight and got a win. You know, you got to be impressed by what you saw because you know he was dying inside. You know, the lactic acid, his arms felt like they were about 3,000 pounds apiece. We've seen the same thing with Dalton Rosta, but we have seen Dalton Rosta change his cardiovascular, and he's much better now. And if there's one thing that I'll give Dalton Rosta right now, I think he's faced the better competition overall. Yeah. And that sometimes is a difference maker. And so we're going to see, again, this is a 50-50 toss-up.
I agree.
These are both great guys. Both of them are built like brick shithouse. One's called Hercules. We know how strong Romero Cotton, so it's Hercules versus Samson, man.
But I think it's going to overall be a good fight, especially for a main event. On the prelims. Let's scroll on down. Let's scoot through this thing a little bit.
Just pick one that you want to see.
The one that I want to see is dun dun dun. I mean, I'm gonna have to pick two, but
okay, I want to pick two also, but it's
okay. But I mean, I have to say Feraldo because Feraldo has been this explosive, dynamic.
There
He's
you
everywhere,
go, baby.
Flying knee knockouts. He's just picking and choosing his shots. Something you want to see out of a young talent. I don't understand why he's not closer up to the top. And then the other guy that I really want to see as well is Rakhmonov. He's tough. He's had some great fights. He's a dog, man, and he's someone that can stand. He likes to stand. He will wrestle, but he can do it all. You know, he also trains out of AKA with Khabib and those guys, and all managed by the same thing. But he's a stud. He's tough as hell. So those are the two fights that I'm looking forward to. I know you have a couple that you want to see as well.
I had the Roman Feraldo. I love watching him. Guy is dynamic. But the other one is Archie Colgan, who is the first fight of the night. But Archie actually fought a year ago in Sioux Falls, South Dakota for Bellator and slammed his way out of a buggy choke.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Dude, super strong, great wrestling, comes from a great camp. This guy's going to be really good. He's going to be a solid fighter. He's going to be up in the top rankings within a short time. Good fighter.
All right, well, hey, that's going to wrap up our Bellator talk. Oh, you didn't even talk about Ahmed Magomedov, but it's okay. We'll see.
Right.
We'll see him fight on Friday.
And I didn't talk about Jalen Bates either, who dynamite fight.
Dynamite fighter, you're right. Okay, so you guys can watch the prelims of those on Bellator YouTube or on Showtime YouTube, but at Bellator YouTube. And then you can also watch the main card on Showtime. That is Friday night, not Saturday, but on Friday night. We will be in Tacoma, Washington. And the fights will be taking place there. Now let's go ahead and move on to the UFC Fight Night 208, Blaydes versus Aspinall. It's a big step up in competition for Tom Aspinall. How can he deal with the wrestling? How can he deal with the ground and pound? And Curtis Blaydes is no slouch on the feet either. People like to give him a hard time, like they used to give Corey Anderson a hard time. They're both good on the.
He's good on the feet.
Curtis Blaydes is good on the feet, and he's got good wrestling. He puts it together very well. There is more of a submission threat, though, from Tom Aspinall than there is from Curtis Blaydes.
No doubt about that. But you got to get the fight to the ground for that submission most of the time.
Yep, this makes for a fun fight, though, John. This show is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie.ag brings you all your best betting odds across the world. Make sure you guys use our promo code weighing in at MyBookie.ag. There's a little QR code right there that Podcast Dave is going to put up for you guys. Use that QR code. Go to our site there on the weighing in. Click in that weighing in code, and they will give you a little extra spending cash with your first initial buy-in. Now, look. Most online gambling sites don't let you withdraw your winnings for at least 2 or 3 more purchases of using your winnings. MyBookie.ag is allowing you to pull your money out after the very first time you use it. So after you win, use your winnings one time, and whatever winnings you have available or even more, you get to pull those winnings out. Go to MyBookie.ag, use that promo code weighing in. Thank you for supporting us.
This is a great matchup, and I was... When I saw this matchup, I was like, who knows something here? Because let's just be honest, the UFC is all about Tom Aspinall, and they are not about Curtis Blaydes.
That's so mean.
I'm just being honest. You take a look at some of the things that have been said. For a while, the UFC was behind Curtis Blaydes, and then he had a fight, and he even won it when he fought Volkov. Dana was not pleased. Dana was not happy, and then he had the fight with Derek Lewis, and he got hit with the uppercut from hell, and went out. That's going to happen when you get hit by Derek Lewis. It's not, anything. But he lost his luster with them as far as, is he a top contender? You know that they like Tom Aspinall. He does a lot for him. He is well-spoken. He has the UK market there. Everyone there loves him. He fights well in all ranges, and he's not a guy that's creates any kind of friction for him or anything like that. Where is this fight taking place? Okay, and it's not like Aspinall will probably come out first because he's not ranked above Blaydes, but I'm just saying. The UFC would be very happy with Tom Aspinall winning this, and so I'm saying, I think they believe that he will win it. I think they believe that in the end he's going to get a win here. I think Curtis Blaydes definitely has the ability to beat him, and where he does have the ability to beat him is exactly where you said Aspinall is superior in the submission game. You've got to don't fear that submission game. What you have to do is you have to put him in positions where you are doing damage to him, where the submissions just aren't even available based upon he's too concerned with defending than he is to try to be offensive and lock up a submission. And Curtis Blaydes' wrestling is damn good. He is a damn good wrestler. He's got good stand-up. I think in the stand-up they're very close to being equal, but I think wrestling-wise, it definitely goes to Curtis Blaydes, and submission-wise, it definitely goes to Tom Aspinall. So this is one of those fights you take a look, and each guy can win. I think Curtis Blaydes, if he fights a smart fight in using his wrestling at times to put Aspinall down and just avoid the submissions, put damage on him while you're not being damaged, that's your route to victory. For Tom Aspinall, I don't see him shooting a takedown that he's going to get the takedown on Curtis Blaydes. I think he's got to actually touch Curtis, hurt him in the stand-up. With that, he's on the ground in the top position, and things are not going to be going well for Curtis.
Well, you said it right off the bat that Tom Aspinall is a key person for the UFC.
Yep.
Michael Bisping has now gone to commentary. Darren Till is not as active as they would like him to be.
Patty Pimlet
Molly
coming up.
McCann. Yep, Patty Pimlet coming up. Sure, maybe he's potentially a star. Or he is a star. You got Molly McCann, who's also pretty much a star, but based off of her last fight, some of her previous fights before.
She's doing good.
So she's been doing well. But Tom Aspinall, they're looking for that heavyweight, someone who could really push them. Cyril Gahn, right? He's from. Isn't
France.
he from the? But he's from France.
France.
But I thought he was living in
No.
In the UK. Okay.
Nope.
Anyways.
Nope.
All right. Well, So that's still another market they're trying to hit. But with Tom Aspinall, this is a market to help replace Michael Bisping, to help replace Darren Till, kind of slide him in there, and also too at the heavyweight division. It's easy to get behind him. He's got a whole country behind him. Very marketable, still young, understands where his place is. He's not out here talking shit to the UFC going, oh, I'm the heavyweight, I deserve this, and this. And, you know, and a lot of heavyweights tend to do that because they think they're just, oh, I'm the greatest because I'm the heavyweight. You know, and so the fact that he originally wanted to slow play all of his fights.
He did.
No, I mean, a little bit more time. So he understands what's at stake. He understands how good he can be or how good he is. And there's no rush. There's no rush to get to the top because once you get to the top,
getting better.
Yeah, he is. There's no rush getting to the top because once you get to the top, there's nowhere to go but down.
Only killers.
So he slow played this. This is a big fight for him. It's a big step up in competition. Can Curtis Blaydes wrestle him though for 5 rounds? That's the question. And heavyweights have a tendency. Now, look, you can say how good a wrestler is, but all heavyweights, outside of for Cain Velasquez, couldn't wrestle for 5 rounds. I've never seen a heavyweight that could wrestle for 5 rounds.
It was called Randy Couture.
Yeah. Would you call Randy a heavyweight though?
He was.
I know he was, but he wasn't really. He was a hybrid before hybrids.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
He was a hybrid, but that was Cain Velasquez also. He's a hybrid before he was a hybrid. He was a hybrid before he was a heavy. He's 238. But the thing with Randy could go up to, you go down to 205 and back up to heavyweight. Cain could never make 205.
Randy was never more than 225. That was the heaviest he ever was.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought he was like 235, at the most. No? Interesting. Man. But I look at Tom Aspinall as the UFC, I think, feels like they know something. Maybe they've sent people to watch him train with other heavyweights, and they've seen what Curtis Blake can do, and you know, probably watching him train with all the video footage. They probably take it. I really believe that the UFC studies some of that video footage, and they listen to what some of the people have. They want to know where you're at, want to know what goes on through your mind, you know, mentally, and they talk to, I think, some of the production team that do those 24/7s and
Josh, you can't put your money behind every fighter. You can't do it. You've got to be smart about it and say, all right, here's the guys that we're looking at. Which ones do we put the money behind and market? And then the fighters, you know, through training scenarios, through their fights that they put on in the cage, they're gonna, you know, rise to the top, and the money's gonna go that way as far as marketing. And that's what you're seeing with Aspinall. Yeah, it's that you can't. If you're the UFC, that's the only way for you to do business. You know, you can't do it. You can't put your money behind everyone.
No, but you got to put what the UFC has done, which I baffles me that some other promotions haven't fucking figured this out. Put your money behind the star from every country, because whoever you believe is going to be a star from that country, put your money behind them.
Yeah.
I don't. It just baffles me that other promotions haven't caught on to this yet. Like, okay, look, you have a guy like in Tom Aspinall who's from the UK to replace Bisping. You know, and it started off with Connor. Brought someone in from Dublin. They knew it was a fight market. They just hadn't found one that was really that person. What was Marcus Davis? But he wasn't from Ireland.
Marcus Davis is from Boston.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying though, but he always tried to promote with the Irish hand grenades, right? Yeah, he always tried to hit that market, but there was nothing there.
If you recall, when he fought in Ireland, they wouldn't let him use his nickname. He had to change it.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So then you have, you know, I mean, like, but there was fighters that have tried to hit that market, and there was no one that came out of there except for, you know, for Conor McGregor. So like they find people from each market to help put their money behind. Sure. You know, they did the same thing with a couple of the Chinese fighters. They did the same thing with one or two of the fighters out of Australia.
We just watched Lee, who he was not that good. No. When the UFC signed him. I mean, they signed him back in, 2014, I think was his first fight. Like, he wasn't that good a fighter. He was not ready. And they knew that, and they put him against talent that he could compete with. And now they got a real fighter.
Yeah. And you just got to keep going to these countries trying to find the talent that you have there. The UFC is going back to Sweden. You want to know why? There's a ton of good fighters in Sweden right now that are just waiting to be picked up by a bigger promotion. There's tons of them there. Yep. I'm baffled by the fact that we don't see more South African fighters. They've got a promotion down there. I don't remember the name of it.
EFC.
Something. EFC?
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got a ton of good South African fighters out of there.
Yeah.
And that promotion sells out almost every single time, 15, 18,000 fans in these arenas. I'm surprised we don't see more of their fighters, in the bigger stage. The UFC's done a great job of picking their fighters from different countries and help building around them, and then getting those fans to start buying their pay-per-views, start buying whatever their TV network is over there to make sure that they get viewership. Other promotions haven't caught on yet. Like if you take a look, Bellator's still not available in South America in some areas.
It's crazy.
I've got people like, hey, man, how do I watch in Peru? How do I watch in Chile? I'm like,
good question.
Get a VPN and try and watch through YouTube. I don't know. I don't know how to tell you. Try to watch through YouTube. That's all I can tell you. And that goes for other promotions as well. Like still trying to scramble around how to watch one. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And I used to work for them, and I still to this day don't know how to fucking view them unless they're on TNT or other stuff. You got to try and find bootleg stuff online. It's a pain in the ass, but it's going to be something that these promotions got to figure out. All right, next. What's the next fight on this card?
Jack Hermansson versus the Action Man, Chris Curtis. This is the Action Man coming in, not last second, but coming in on late
he just
notice.
fought though.
Yeah,
he just fought.
Yeah, he did, but it's that. Did you peak and now you're trying to drop off and try to get that peak back and you can't reach that same level? I don't know. This is a good fight in the fact that Hermansson on the ground. He's very good, very dynamic. Doesn't have that real lineage of he's this Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. Dude, the dude's submission game is top notch.
Mm-hmm.
He's good, but does he have the wrestling ability to take Curtis down and keep him down? Curtis is very good to getting back at his feet. And he just starts to wear on you and wears you out. But Hermansson's got a gas tank, and we've seen that in the past. So, interesting fight, interesting matchup between the two. Hermansson's coming off a loss. He's got to work his way back towards the win. Chris Curtis is on a roll right now. He's got confidence.
Well, I really believe the reason why Chris Curtis took this fight is he worked a ton of takedown defense to fight Rodolfo Vieira.
Sure,
same thing. A ton. And so he understood that this is the same exact fight. I don't have to change anything. Keep working on my takedown defense, letting my hands go, making him pay every time he doesn't get the takedown. I think Jack Hermansson, the confidence is not what it is, whereas Curtis,
not where it was,
Curtis's confidence, it was. And Chris Curtis's confidence is through the roof probably right now. Because when you look at Jack Hermansson, the threat of the jiu-jitsu and the submissions versus Rodolfo Vieira, not even close. Rodolfo Vieira's submissions, way better. Now getting the fight to the ground.
Look at it. Stop. Hold on. I'm going to tell you straight out right now. Yes, Rodolfo Vieira is the better jiu-jitsu player, especially in a gi. And if they even rolled non-gi, I would go with Vieira. You're right. But in an MMA fight, Jack Hermansson has pulled off more submissions. The guy's good.
Jack Hermansson be able to pull off more submissions because Jack Hermansson got better wrestling than Rodolfo Vieira.
Okay.
That's why.
No, I agree with you.
It's a lot harder to get submissions if the fight doesn't hit the ground.
There you go.
But Jack Hermansson's also not coming off win. He's coming off losses. And so the fact that Chris Curtis is coming off wins, the confidence and the ability to stuff one or two takedowns, I think it'll start to wear on Jack Hermansson. His mindset won't be the same. So Chris Curtis, if he comes in shape and stuffs one or two of those first takedowns in a 3-round fight, I'm going to lean towards Chris Curtis.
Yeah,
Nothing against Hermansson at all.
No.
But on the feet, Chris Curtis has got the bigger power, and he's got the faster hands, and he's comfortable on his feet, throws everything from a relaxed position, and he's just trained for someone who understood that is bigger, stronger, and not great wrestling, but that definitely a threat on the ground, and understood what it took to get that win. Never selling on the bottom, never like establishing, just saying, hey, okay, I'm going to take this position, concede that I got taken down. He never did that in that fight. He's got to do the same exact thing against Jack Hermansson. If he does that against Hermansson, I think he gets the win.
Yeah. Patty Pimblett against Jordan Levitt. Jordan Levitt's a good fighter. People don't give this guy credit for being a good fighter. And he does the little twerking thing and the splits and stuff at the end. You know you love his twerking.
No, geez. Podcast Dave does. Along with the teabag. Give him the teabag, baby.
I think, the UFC in here, like, you know who they're leaning towards and who they want to win the fight. And Patty's got the ability to do that. The guys that do well against Patty are guys that can wrestle. Guys that can take him off his feet, put him on the mat, and beat him up on the mat. Jordan, I don't think, is that guy. Jordan is a guy who's got good submissions, but he doesn't have great wrestling. And so it's going to be tough for him to get Patty down there. He might. Patty's good at defending when he's on his back. You're taking a look at this as the fight goes on. I think Patty gets stronger. Jordan's not going to be as strong, and that might be the difference in it.
The only way that I see Levitt getting this fight to the ground is Patty will leave himself out of position because he overextends on his combinations. He throws heat. He's one of those young, reckless stand-up fighters. Just like, I'm faster than you. I'm more explosive than you. I think he's going to be a lot bigger than I'm better than you, but I think he's going to be a lot bigger also than Levitt.
Really?
His size and his body frame, I think he's going to be a lot bigger than Levitt.
I don't think so.
I guess we're going to see when they face off. We're going to see. But I think he is. And I want to know, though, all of this weight cutting and getting your weight down, how much time – I feel like he gets Patty – and this is not a knock on him at all because it happens to a lot of young fighters. We've seen it before in the past.
Sure.
They put on so much weight.
It's easy taking the weight off when you're young.
Well, I'll give you an example. Anthony Rumble Johnson, he's a friend of mine, close friend of mine. He spent his whole camp trying to get his weight down, so he never really got any better because you're so focused on losing weight.
He was also getting his weight from 220 pounds down to 170.
Did you see pictures of Patty Pimblett?
Losing 50 pounds. He's not 50 pounds.
Did you see pictures of him? He was 220 pounds in his fucking cheeks, John.
He puts a little weight on in his face.
A little.
It's the haircut. It frames it. That's why.
No. You keep telling yourself that, buddy. The fucking Scouzer's face looked like a fucking
Scouser. Listen
Scouser.
to you.
This guy. His face looked like a big ass dumpling. So just, it was so big. But,
it was a little round. It was a little round.
I'm a big fan.
That's because he's friends with Meatball Molly, and he wanted to give her that feeling of
Meatball Molly. Don't look that. She don't look that big.
I'm not saying he does. He's using her nickname. His face is a little round like a meatball.
That's true. Look, he's talented. He is. I love the fact that he's a little reckless because that's what makes it exciting. He leaves himself out of position a lot. If Levitt's going to get a takedown, it's going to be because Patty Pimblett overcommitted on a strike or was trying to go reckless with throwing knees to the head, something like that, and he gets taken down and gets taken down. But I think he'll work his way back up. I don't see Levitt being able to submit him. I don't think Patty's the best jiu-jitsu guy, but he's good.
Yeah.
He's very talented. He's aggressive off of his back with his submissions. He's really good at getting back to his feet. And on the feet, there's no doubt, Patty Pimblett's the better striker. Now, Patty's a good striker. His defense is just not the best, as we've seen in those last 2
because he opens himself up.
Yes, he does. But Jordan Levitt, though, does not have great striking. It's not good.
No.
I wouldn't say it's John, I'm going to say this nicely.
He's not the dangerous counter striker that you need to be to create problems. Yeah.
There is a threat there on the ground. There is, what's his name? The monkey something? Jordan Levitt. His nickname is what?
I don't know.
What are they? Isn't it the monkey something?
I'm waiting for it to load. The Monkey King.
Yeah, the Monkey King.
The Monkey King.
The Monkey King. That's his name. I saw John get nervous there. Like, Josh, what did you just say?
Dude, I was like, I'm not even.
It's like, what are you doing, bro? They made them change the name from monkeypox. What did you just say? It's like, oh, jeez. No, the Monkey King.
Okay.
No, it's like he is someone who's, I think, on the ground is going to he'll give Patty some threats, but he's going to have a hard time getting the fight to the ground.
Yeah.
We'll see how that fight all works out.
Alexander Gustafsson coming back against Nikita Krylov. That's a good fight.
It is, but it's a tough fight.
It is a tough fight, but it's at light heavyweight where I think Alexander Gustafsson needs to be. In the stand-up, Nikita's good in the stand-up, but Alexander's also very good, and he's long, and he uses his length well. And if there's a place that we've seen with Krylov that he starts to wilt a little bit, it's under pressure when he's the guy on the bottom in the ground. And somehow, some way, I can see Alexander getting him down to the ground and being in the top position. But this is one of those. This is a quality matchup at light heavyweight. I like seeing Alexander back at that weight, and I'd like to see him do well.
Long time off.
Being a homer.
Yeah, I know, but it's a long time off. It's hard to come back. You saw some ring rust when he took this amount of time off from last time, and he came back. He didn't take this amount of time, but he took a lot of time off. He had segments there where he wasn't fighting as active as much as he was before.
Yeah.
And that being said, he wasn't getting any better. And as he got older, the activity, the speed, the output wasn't there. Yeah. So hopefully in this fight, I think he had done some interviews saying, "Hey, I'm coming back," because he missed it. And the motivation was there again. And you've seen this from fighters, right? You just don't love it anymore.
That's the reason to do it.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. Like, we see Cowboy did his post-fight interview, just said, "Look, I don't love it anymore."
Yeah.
The excitement of going to the gym
is
not there anymore.
That's okay.
Yeah. And Alex lost that feeling as well. So when he lost that feeling, and now after, it's been 18 months, maybe even longer. When was the last time he fought? 2020. So yeah. So 2 years. So 2 years. So like, it's that feeling of, man, 2 years away. I haven't had to really. I'm sure he's been active, because a lot of fighters have a hard time just leaving the gym. They stay in. They just keep hitting the bag. They keep kind of like doing some light touch sparring, hitting pads with their trainers. Like that wasn't me. As soon as I said I was retired, man, I fucking didn't go back to the gym at all. I was like, this sucks. I'm not going back. I'm over this. Some fighters have a hard time doing that because it's been part of their routine for so long. Twice a day, you're in the gym hitting mitts.
It's also having something else to go to. Cowboy, who says, I just don't love it. He's fallen in love with the acting part. He's doing very well with it. I just watched him on the Terminal List with Chris Pratt.
Oh,
he was in that. Right, he was in that for a second as one of the security guys and had a nice fight scene. Did really well, but he lost that one too. Well, of course he lost that one. Predetermined. It's like Dave's WWE. Predetermined.
I can see him playing those kind of parts the rest of his career. Look
Does
at
great.
What was the one guy? The one that fought Renzo Gracie. Russian guy, Igor. Is it Igor?
No, Oleg.
No, Olaf Tiktarov. Gosh,
not Olaf. Oleg. He's in.
Oleg.
He was Oleg. He's in a show. I just saw him too. He was a Russian hitman.
Yeah, he's in a lot of shows.
Yeah,
he's been in a lot of shows. Yeah. Look, you fight the right parts for yourself. You'll be active. You'll be busy. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep making a little bit of money here on the side. I mean, you get. I did NCIS.
Just
LA.
say the name Residual.
In Strikeforce, I still get checks from them to this day. Still get checks. I got a check probably about a year ago.
Hello, friends.
I want to say for like $12.
What do you mean a year ago? Hello, friends. God bless that series, Friends.
Oh, you still getting checks from them,
dude? Almost every month.
Oh, really? Oh no, mine was a year ago.
It's the best.
I get them random.
But the NCIS is not. Friends is
LA.
syndicated everywhere, man.
This is true.
Crazy.
This is true. All right, what else? What are the fights on this card?
Look, Paul Craig against Ozdemir.
You miss Molly McCann. You miss Molly McCann. You cannot talk about Molly McCann.
Excuse me. Paul Craig against Volkan Ozdemir is a fight that I look forward to seeing. Can Paul Craig again pull off a submission? Now, you want to talk about Molly? Molly.
No. I just want to give my girls some love, man.
Okay.
You know I love Molly McCann. I can't walk past her or see her from across the room without running up and giving her a hug.
No, that's her running up, giving us hugs. She's a sweetheart.
Yes. Either way, look, it's going to be hard. I hope that she settles down early in this fight, because it's going to be hard for her to repeat what happened last time.
Yes.
And there's going to be a lot of pressure. I hope she doesn't put the same amount of pressure on herself to do the same thing. Don't force it. Fight your fight. If the opportunity presents itself, seize that moment, capture it, get the win. But don't look just for that because it happened. You see it too many times where fighters try to do what they did and replicate what they did in a fight.
That.
Every fight is different. No reason to go out there and try to replicate what happened in the last fight. If it happens, it happens. Okay, but don't chase it. Otherwise, you're going to see yourself fighting from behind, trying to hit something that's not there. Fight your fight, girl. She's there. She's a dog. Yeah. I hope she gets it done. But I'm a big fan. Big fan. What else? Any other fights on this card?
Bring it up because there's one at the bottom that I really think is going to be a good fight. Go ahead. There you go. And where is it? Oh, Muhammad Mokaev against Charles Johnson. Mokaev, flyweight, fast, exciting, from England. This should be a really good matchup. Charles Johnson is fast. He's fun to watch. We'll see how Muhammad does in front of his fans with a little bit more pressure. He had a great first fight against oh man, I can't think of his name. Wrestler from Georgia, Cody Durden, and got a quick win. So we'll see if he can pull that off again. Same as you're saying. Don't try to replicate it.
Yep.
Different
All right, guys.
fight.
Well, hey, that's gonna wrap up our UFC talk. Let's get in a little bit of news there, podcast Dave.
So, so I have one story for you guys to cover on this show, and I know that it sounds like a tired subject, but it brings in views, so we're going to talk about it. So over the weekend, Dana White kind of responded to this whole thing about he basically he was getting prodded by reporters about the Nate Diaz thing, basically being asked to respond to the Nate Diaz interview with Ariel Helwani, and one of the interesting things that Josh always talks about is how the UFC technically can't hold you hostage, and Dana White used these words: we can't hold you hostage because we have to fight you 3 times a year or we have to pay you. And so he said, without saying it, he said, I'm offering him fights, obviously, and he's not accepting them. And so I want to get your take on that and kind of how we obviously know the UFC can manipulate that, because we know they can. But the other piece as well is that it's been reported by somebody at ESPN that Diaz's contract actually expires in November. So as of then, he may be a free agent anyway, and so he might not even have to fight. So just overall thoughts between those two things.
All right, first off, they can't hold you hostage as far as sitting there saying, oh, we're not going to offer you a fight. They have to offer you in your contract, normally, generally, usually, it doesn't mean it's every contract is the same, but it is, they will say, well, we will give you 3 fights per year. Now, that doesn't mean that stays with every fighter there is, but that's the general. And I can't say that Nate says that it's 3 fights. It might be 2 fights, but they will offer you that fight. If for any reason, you say no to the fight, you say yes to the fight, then have to pull out of the fight, and your contract gets extended because they did their part and no, they don't owe you any money. If they do not offer you a fight, then yes, they do owe you what your contracted next fight as far as pay would be. They owe you that pay because they didn't offer you anything. All that's true. There comes a point where every contract will end. There is an end game to everything. And it could be that his is in November. Now, if he doesn't fight his way for them before that, and his end game comes that no matter what, come November, his contract is null and void and gone, then that could be true. But when Dana is sitting there saying, look, I've offered him fights, Dana's not lying. He's offered him fights. And he knows that Nate has turned some of those fights down. Now, when he offered those fights, that I can't say. He knows. Nate knows. It could be that he hasn't offered him a fight in the last 6 months. That's possible. Okay, he's got to offer him 3 fights a year. That's the norm. So those 3 fights that he offered him, he could have offered him 2 fights in February and March, and then April, May, June, July, August, September, he doesn't offer him anything. It's very possible. He's just got to offer him the 3 fights in a year. So you can end up sitting for a while.
Yeah, and you got to remember that every time he offers him a fight and Nate says no, it extends his contract. So if the contract's saying November, that doesn't mean shit. Now, maybe it does expire because now he said he's available to fight. Like I tried to break this down to people a while back. If Nate says they offered him Chimaev, let's say they offered him Chimaev, like, let's say January 20th, and Nate said no. But then 2 weeks later, Nate said, hey, I'm ready to fight. That now activates your contract again, but they can extend you without offering you another fight for, like, I believe it's 4 to 6 months. They can extend your contract. I think it's 4 months. So if Nate came back and said, hey, I'm ready to fight, now that, I think that wipes out. So now it's extended just for 2 more weeks. It's not extended for the full 4 months. They didn't offer him a fight. Now they have to legally offer him a fight. And if they offered him another one, say in March or April, okay, then now if he says no, that extended it until he comes out and says publicly, hey, I'm ready to fight. Why are they not fighting me? Then however long that took him, 2 weeks, a week, whatever it was, now that extended your contract another week. So maybe his contract is sometimes up in November, sometime in November it's up. But I don't think that they're going to schedule him all right now. They're not offering him any fights. They don't want him fighting during the summer.
I don't think
views during the summer.
It doesn't quite work that way when you say activate. I think there's a 90-day period.
Is there?
If they offer you that fight and you turn it down, they have 90 days to come back with another fight. You turned it down. That's the extension on it. Now you say I'm ready to fight, and they go, okay, we're looking, but they don't have to. They don't have to come with that offer.
So okay, I do believe I've read something like that in my contracts where it was like that. So there is that 90-day period. So they can extend you for those 90 days though.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
they'll drag you out. They'll drag you out for those 90 days. Now, I don't think that they've been offering him fights right now because they don't want him to fight during the summer, September or October.
Look, they want one fight from him.
Fights. They want one more fight.
And you know what fight that is?
Conor McGregor.
Hello. And their biggest problem is really not. It is Nate, but Conor's not ready either.
Yeah.
You know, and when is Conor going to be ready? And then can they get it together? And for the most part, Nate has said, I don't want to fight him again.
Yeah, but John,
I don't know.
Here's the thing. Do you really want Nate running off with a win over Conor?
If he gets one.
I think he does.
Okay. No, you don't want that, but
that's what's going to happen.
It's possible.
I think
it's possible.
Because he's been more active. He understands what would be at stake. He understands that like a win over Conor and then runs off to fight Jake Paul ups his value to say, hey, Jake Paul, pay me more. I just beat Conor McGregor. I don't think that that'd be a smart move by the UFC to have him fight Conor McGregor. I just don't think. Don't be wrong. I want to see the fight. I know you want to see the fight. I know everyone out there, if you're going to have one last fight for Nate Diaz leaving the UFC, I want that fight.
Hello.
But if I'm the UFC, I'm not making that fight.
I think that's the fight they want to make.
There is a very good chance that Nate Diaz beats him. And not like the first 2 times. I think he finishes him like how Dustin finished him.
Well,
I think he puts him away in the second or third round.
He did finish him in the first fight.
No, I get it. But I'm saying I think he finishes him on the feet. First fight, he finished him on the ground.
He finishes him on the feet.
He finished him on the feet. I think he outboxes him. I think he touches him up. I think that Conor is not the same fighter with the distance, the range, all of those things that he was when they fought the first 2 times.
John,
Conor lit him up in the... What's that?
I said, John, tell him how crazy he is.
I really look. The real question for me when it comes to Conor is this. Look, Conor's still a phenomenal athlete. He's very good. He's a good fighter. In the stand-up, he's got a lot of tools that he uses and uses well. Timing, distance control, all those things. Beautiful. Dude, every fight that he had against Nate has been at 170 pounds. And he didn't have any problems getting to that 170 pounds. He's going to have a hard time getting to that 170 pounds. He is thick right now. And by losing all of that, how's that going to affect his performance since he hasn't been fighting? That's the real question is weight loss wise, he's going to have a hefty amount of weight to have to bring down. He's got to be 190 pounds.
John, he's always struggled with cardio. He's always struggled with it.
Yes.
This will be. I'm not sure it'll be a main event. I can't imagine it not be because it's Conor.
Come on,
right?
stop. You're not sure this is going to be a main event?
I don't know.
I
guess look, if you're,
do you
if
think
you're the
that
UFC,
they want this to be a 3-round fight?
It would favor Conor. It would favor Conor if it was a 3-round fight.
I'm not saying it would
more.
First off,
I'm
take Conor out of the equation.
Take Conor out of the equation. I'm looking at it as a promotional. I'm looking at it as a promotional view.
They don't want this to be a 3-round fight.
As a promotion, first off, you don't want Conor losing, which I think he's going to lose. Second is you don't want him definitely getting his ass kicked for 5 rounds. Okay, and then you'd rather have him in a 3-round.
5 rounds.
If it was a main event, he would.
No,
he'd probably get knocked out by the second or third.
It's a 5-round fight.
Yeah, he'll get finished in 2 or 3. You are correct about that. Now, if you want any chance of Conor winning, it'd be a 3-round fight. Any chance? That's it. I think he could still rounds 1 and 2 from Nate Diaz. Can he survive round 3? That's the question. Look, he's not.
He did in their last fight.
He was a different fighter.
What do you mean he's a different fighter?
John, you just said he's fat now. He's thick. He has no lateral movement. You're just being a fucking troll right now. I swear to God. You're being a podcast Dave. I want to punch you.
I have learned.
I want to punch you in the mouth right now. No.
This is crazy what you're saying right now, man.
No, it's not.
Read the comments later.
Dave.
Oh, my gosh.
Dave, calm down, buddy. Calm down. Okay, one day at Alta doesn't make you a world beater. Calm down. Okay? Calm down. He's got his little Taekwondo-style gloves on and stuff. Sends me a picture of him with baby oil on. Now all of a sudden he's telling me I'm a troll. Jeez, buddy.
Right now.
I'm gonna have Lincoln smack you
Keep
around
in mind
today.
that Conor beat Nate in 5 rounds in the second fight, so
that's right.
Yeah, but you're trying to tell me that Conor McGregor is the same Conor that fought him back then. That's absolutely not true. No, he's not. Shut up.
And Nate's old and slowing down.
You shut your
Nate's
whore mouth.
Old and slowing down.
Old and slowing down. Have you not seen how slow Conor McGregor is right now? God, I want to strangle you through this damn microphone.
The one thing that I love that I have seen from Conor, I'm going to give praise to it. Where is he right now? He's been back at SBG where he belongs. Conor, and I said it before. I said it in front of you, and I said it to his management. Conor cannot be in control of his own training. That is a huge mistake, and that will get him a loss, and it has done so. If he goes back to SBG, could be different.
Possibility, okay? But look. No, here's the thing. It takes you so long to build up not just the endurance, but the shin strength, the hands, the mobility, the movement, all of those things he worked countless hours on to be as good as he was during that Eddie Alvarez fight.
Okay.
When all of that action happened, he was working tirelessly to get to that level.
That's right.
He is not working at that level now, John.
What did I just talk about?
I get what you're saying.
I just talked about that.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is that he doesn't have the movement that he has. He doesn't have the speed that he had before. His weight now is too big. He's going to have to cut the weight down to get to 70. He will not be. We saw in his last couple fights with Dustin. He's flat-footed. He's a flat-footed boxer. That is not going to work against Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz will outpunch him, output him, all of those things, out-cardio him. Nate will fight him at range. Nate will get hit, sure. He may get hit a couple times. That's what Nate Diaz does. Nate Diaz does that. He takes shot to give a shot. He'll take 2 shots to give you 1. But he will pepper you, and by the second round, Conor McGregor will be out of gas and face down, ass up, looking up at Nate going, hey, how'd I end up here like he did against Dustin? Look, you can say what you want about Conor, what he's done before in the past to help build this sport. I give him all the props in that area. But at the end of the day, he's not the same guy. He's not, and he won't be the same guy ever. Money's changed him. The exposure's changed him. The exposure has changed him. He's not the same guy. Nate Diaz will beat him. And that, I don't think, and as a promotion, you don't want to allow him to walk away, Nate Diaz, okay, with a win over Conor McGregor. And I think the only way for Conor to get a win is in a 3-round fight. That's the only way Conor wins. He can still rounds 1 and 2 maybe, but not 3.
I want you to think about this. Your man, Khabib, says his toughest fight was against who?
I don't know.
Says Conor. That was his toughest fight. What do you mean you don't know?
I didn't hear him. I didn't hear him say
listen?
That. No, I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear him say that? He said.
No.
He goes, that was my toughest fight.
Let me ask you. Toughest fight is in terms of there was so much emotion going on for him.
He
So
said it
much
was his
emotion.
toughest fight. Now you want to drag it into emotions. I'm saying your guy said that was his toughest fight. Now,
Looked like his easiest fight.
oh man,
It
look
looked
at
like
you,
the
man.
easiest fight. He dropped him. I mean, yeah. How many other guys on the feet did he drop? There you go.
See,
It looked like his easiest fight.
You are now becoming nothing but a hater.
No,
You're
we're
a
speaking
hater.
Facts. Last I was talking, we're speaking facts here, buddy.
Do you
Dropped
realize?
him,
Do you realize
mauled him.
how happy you have made podcast Dave
He
over
ta-
this?
He tapped him. He
He
tapped
brings
him with
one
a fake,
thing. He
a
brings
fake
one
guillotine.
thing up. A fake
Or fake rear
guillotine.
naked.
What are you talking
A
about?
fake rear naked. It was just across the face. Nothing.
fake.
Super simple. He,
Khabib put
All right,
you
guys.
in that rear naked. You were tapping right away.
never did I. Never did I. All right, guys. Hey, go to WeighingInPodcast.com. WeighingInPodcast.com. Pick up some of our merch. Got a new shirt up called 5 Rounds Main Event, which for our new show, which is on our Clips channel. Make sure you guys check out our new show, 5 Rounds Main Event. It's a great little show we do. It's a short show. It's easy for all you people with short attention spans like myself and Big John. So we also got the hashtag and still that Big John is wearing right now. We also got the hindsight is 50-50. It's another great shirt that comes in all different colors. Our OG logo weighing in, and we got the Beast Mode shirt, all different types of sweatshirts, anyways.
No,
Sweatshirts and,
very good.
and hoodies and all the other things available on there, crew neck stuff, all those things. Check it out. We got a coffee mug for you guys who want to sit around and watch us on Sunday mornings or on Monday mornings or whenever we drop our show with your Weighing In podcast coffee mug. Pick one of those up as well. Thank you guys for so much for supporting us at WeighingInPodcast.com. John, take us away, bud.
For everyone out there, thank you for tuning in. We hope you had fun. We hope you have a good time listening to the punk try to survive in the end with the Connor Nate talk because he was getting bombarded by both Dave and I. Have fun out there. Be good to someone. Make their day special, and we will see you.
Trolls.